G'day. There was a war of words in the Montreal paddock last race with both Jacques Villeneuve and Daniel Ricciardo speaking their mind. It was spicy stuff, so let's take a look. It all started with this comment.
Why is he still in F1? We're hearing the same thing now for the last 4 or 5 years. We have to make the car better for him, poor him. Sorry, it's been 5 years of that.
This was the 1997 World Drivers' Champion answering a question from one of his co-presenters on Sky TV on the Friday of the Canadian Grand Prix. That was the wet day, the day that Jacques was actually stuck on the bridge for some 75 minutes trying to get in after the police told everybody on that bridge that the event was cancelled that day. But of course Jacques was liaising with his people inside and he knew indeed it wasn't cancelled. He went on to say,
maybe you make that effort for Lewis Hamilton who's won multiple championships. You don't make that effort for a driver that can't cut it. If you can't cut it, go home. There's someone else to take your place.
He then continued on, roasting him about beating a burnt-out Sebastian Vettel and a very young Max Verstappen.
Then that was it. He stopped beating anyone after that. I think it's his image has kept it in F1 more than his actual results.
Now this was Jacques' opinion and he was being paid by Sky TV to give his opinion. For years he's commented openly, sometimes bluntly, about other drivers. He's made a career of it. And I have no doubt he honestly believes that Daniel is past his prime, and looking through many of the comments on social media, he had plenty of support. The following day, Daniel went out in qualifying and turned it on big time, clocking the 5th fastest time, his best quali result of the season. He then went to the media pen, which all the drivers have to do, and was asked about Jacques' comments the previous day. When a journalist asked him if it provided extra motivation, he responded, "I still don't know what he said, but I heard he's been talking shit. But he always does. I think he's hit his head a few too many times, so I don't know if he plays ice hockey or something." And was asked by Sky about Jacques' comments the previous day.
I won't give him the time of day.
And finished up telling Jacques to eat shit. Now this was Daniel's honest opinion, and he had plenty of support too. After qualifying, Jacques suggested his criticism on Friday was one of the reasons for Daniel's strong qualifying performance.
Do you have to doff your
like
cap?
Christian said, he needs the push and the pressure, and it worked. It paid off.
Now I'm not sure that Jacques can take the credit for Daniel's strong performance in quali on the Saturday. However, after the race, he claimed that Daniel had been unprofessional in his Saturday comments. He's a role model, like all these 20. You're at the top level. You have to be responsible in your answers. Professional. Kids are listening to you. You cannot make it personal. I got under his skin, but it got better for his driving. Anyway, Daniel's not shy about making his feelings known. He never has been. He's been around long enough that he doesn't have to tiptoe around issues like this, and certainly his fans expect him to be upfront. Yes, this year he struggled to keep up with his teammate Yuki Tsunoda, but he did finish 8th in Montreal, picked up some valuable points, but he still trails Yuki by 10. Oh, and after the success of the first bucket hat run, I'm doing another one. You can get onto kimellman.com right now, head to the shop, or click on the link below and order yours. There are 2 colours, grey and teal. Now, Jacques' comments are based purely on Daniel's performance over the past 6 years. Just 3 podiums, but an impressive win in 2021 in the Italian Grand Prix. Now, some will say that Lando could have won that race, but was told to hang back and not compromise the team result. Whatever the case, Daniel's name is on that trophy. Is Daniel worried about Jacques' comments? No. He knows his situation, and a commentator, albeit an ex-World Drivers' Champion, putting their opinion forward won't make him drive any better or worse, and it certainly won't affect his luck. Yes, Jacques got his thoughts across to a huge audience on Sky TV, and perhaps even a bigger one on social media via reports just like this, but that's what he's paid to do. Sky definitely got their money's worth out of Jacques last weekend. He's been on the F1 scene a long time now due to his controversial opinions. Last weekend it was Sky that benefited from that. Is he always on Sky? No, I think rarely. Normally he's with Canal Plus. Anyway, Daniel won't be distracted by this. His focus is very clearly on improving his performance, and he has millions of people behind him. This year, he's only been in the points twice, a 4th in the sprint race in Miami and an 8th in Montreal last weekend. By comparison, Yuki scored points in 4 feature races and the Miami sprint. When Daniel was brought in to replace Nick de Vries midway through 2023, it was expected that he'd at least equal, if not surpass, Yuki's performances. That hasn't happened. And when Liam Lawson was brought in to replace Daniel after his accident in Zandvoort, where he broke his hand, Liam showed he could be more than competitive for the team, and that resulted in more pressure on Daniel. Then last week, VCarb announced that they'd extended Yuki's contract, but there was no mention of Daniel's contract. Of course, F1 loves a good feud. There have been many over the years, particularly on track, the likes of Hamilton and Rosberg, Senna and Prost, Schumacher and Hakkinen. And the fact that you're watching this says that you're interested in this particular feud. So where does that leave Jacques and Daniel now? Well, I doubt they'll be dining out anytime soon, and should I see them passing in the paddock, I'll be ready to snap that shot. But quite frankly, I think they'll just ignore each other completely and keep on walking. But don't doubt that the media loves this sort of thing. It profits handsomely on it too. Drama and controversy. But there aren't an abundance of commentators who are willing to stir the pot. Some are scared of speaking their mind, fearing that they could be cut off by a team or a driver for simply stating their opinions. When Eric van Haren, the Dutch journalist, broke the story about Christian Horner going back to, Bahrain earlier this year, he took a big gamble. He writes for a Dutch publication that's very much centred on Max and Red Bull. Although he was simply doing his job, Christian was none too happy, and he could have easily cut off Eric from the team, and that could have seriously harmed or even ended Eric's career. I'm pleased to say it hasn't, and in fact I was amazed. In Jeddah, the week after that story ran, I found him walking into Red Bull's hospitality suite grabbing a free coffee. At the time I thought that was pretty ballsy, but I guess Red Bull figure, like any good company should, better to have him onside than offside, so they chose to work with him and not against him. Certainly journos and reporters shouldn't be afraid to speak their mind, even if it rubs some people up the wrong way. On the other side, drivers are well versed on how to handle such media criticism, and most drivers really don't care too much about the odd person having a crack at them, especially if that someone is paid to make controversial comments. Barcelona is Daniel's next chance to show the F1 world that he can be competitive, and there's no doubt that Jacques Villeneuve will be taking a key interest in his performance there. Of course, Daniel is not only employed by the team for his driving, he's also a huge marketing asset for them. And while that plays a part in the team's decision to renew his contract, he needs to score points to bring in valuable prize money. At present, VCarb sits 6th on the table, 30 points from 5th and 21 away from 8th. But we have 13 more races to come, and anything could happen. Now, no doubt you have comments that you'd like to make about this particular situation, so I'll be very keen to see them in the comments section below. Before I leave you, could you please hit the like button and subscribe, join as a member, and for a whole lot of extra content plus merchandise, have a look at these links here. Thanks for watching and stay passionate. All right, here we go. Here we go. Is the audio working? Let's have a look. Yeah, audio's working.